welcome back to my studio. If you're new here, my name's Morgan and I make all things party and event. And today I'm going to show you how to put together this diaper rose. It makes a beautiful centerpiece for a baby shower, but it's also a practical and wonderful gift for your mother-to-be. So follow along and I'll show you how to make it. Today's rose is made up of 30 size 1 diapers, and I've opted to use Target's Up and Up brand because the only printing on this diaper is on the waistband and the rest of it is white. I think this gives the rose a really classy look, but you could use any size or brand of diaper you would like. To give a rose a little bit of color, I'm using this 6-inch wide roll of pink tulle, and I'm going to cut 30 squares that are 6 by 6 in size, one for each diaper in the rose. When choosing a tulle color for your rose, it's best to pick a bright or dark color as that will show up best on top of the diapers. Now you can cut the squares of tulle one by one, but a quicker way to handle this is to take something that's about 6 inches wide and wrap the tulle around it and cut it free. This is going to go so much faster than trying to measure each of these individually. So I'm going to line up the edge of my tulle roll along the edge of my ruler and hold that in place with my thumb, and then loosely wrap the tulle around my ruler several times. Once I've got it wrapped around a couple times, I'm going to bring that tulle back to the same side of where we started and then cut the tulle free right along the edge of the ruler. Once I've got that free, I can then take my pair of scissors and slide it underneath all the layers of tulle so it's right against the edge of that ruler. And I found that if I slide my fingers under the tulle first, it makes it a little easier to get the scissors in there and they don't get caught on the tulle as I cut. So once I make this first cut, it means we'll have a 12-inch long piece of tulle. And we want to cut this in half to give us our 6-inch squares. So I'm just going to fold this over so that the edges align, and then right on that fold point I'm going to cut in a straight line, and that will give me all my squares. And then I'll just repeat this wrapping and cutting step until I have 30 squares in total. To assemble the rose, I'm going to start at the very center of it. So I'm going to take my first diaper and I'm going to roll it in a nice tight spiral. So starting at the waistband edge of the diaper, I'm going to roll it up until I get to the very edge of it. Then while I hold the diaper in one hand, I'm going to grab one of my rubber bands and just wrap it over the diaper so it's near the center point. Next, I'm going to layer diapers around this central diaper, and those will start to look like our petals. So I'm going to have the leg hole side of one of my diapers be the very edge of the petal, and that's what's going to be sticking up out of the flower and make it look like a petal. Now these first several diapers are going to be wrapped really tightly around the center, so I'm going to go ahead and add on top of that my first square of tulle, making sure I line up the corner of the diaper that will be sticking out with the corner of my tulle square. I'm then going to wrap my tulle diaper around that central diaper, making sure the very corner of that tulle is sticking out up above that central diaper by about an inch, and this will create that petal effect. I'm going to wrap my second and third diapers with the tulle on top in a similar fashion, making sure I evenly distribute the 3 points of these diapers around that central spiral. I'm then going to secure all 4 of these diapers together with a rubber band, and I want that rubber band to be about halfway up the diaper rose. The second layer of the rose is made up of 5 diapers, and I'll be adding the tulle on top of these diapers, making sure that the corner is facing upright, and I want to overlap these diapers an inch or 2 over the previous diaper, making sure I go in a continuous spiral all the way around. At this point, the rose is getting quite large and it can be hard to hold in one hand, so I'm going to add another rubber band to this portion, and then I'm going to set this aside and we're going to build the rest of the rose from the outside in, so we're not having to hold this all in our hands. To assist with that, I'm using an 8-inch springform pan, which will make it easy to release the rose when we're done, but you could always use an 8-inch cake pan or casserole dish as well. So I'm going to layer in the rest of my petals starting from the outside edge to the center, and then we'll bring the 2 pieces of the rose together at the very end. So I'm going to start by making some outer petals that are made from 2 diapers, and I want them to overlap so that the corners of 2 diapers come together in a central point, so it gives us this really beautiful wide petal. I'm going to set this petal down into the pan so that the bottom of the diapers touches the bottom of the pan and the top of the diapers fold up over the edge. They may be a little floppy when you get the first couple in, but as we continue to add diapers into it, it'll all stabilize. Once I've got 4 of these large petals all folded over the edge of the pan, I'm going to take the remaining diapers and spiral them around the center, making sure that they overlap by at least 1 inch, and then press all the diapers from the center out towards the edge so we have enough room to place our center rose that we made just a moment ago. I'm then going to nestle that all the way down till it touches the bottom of the pan. Now that all the diapers are in place, I'm going to go around and fold over the top edge of every diaper, and this is going to make our rose look a lot larger and fuller. It'll also make adding our tulle a lot easier, and that's the next step. So I'm going to add one piece of tulle in front of every diaper that makes up the outer edge, and it's so much easier to do this once the diapers are in place compared to trying to keep all of these shifty pieces of tulle in place as we build this. To add the tulle into the rose, I'm going to hold the corner of one of the pieces of tulle against the top of a diaper and then press the remaining amount of tulle down deep into that rose. And that'll be enough tension to hold the tulle in place. So I'm going to go around and add one piece of tulle in front of every diaper, and that also includes our large petals at the very edge. So make sure each of those diapers get a piece of tulle as well. To accent my flower, I've cut a couple of 12-inch long pieces of green tulle. I'm going to fold that in half and then hold on to one of those folded corners and run my hand over the entire length, and that'll fluff this up and give us the impression of a leaf. So I'm going to tuck this bit of tulle between two of those outermost large petals, making sure that tulle goes really deep down into the pan. So I'm going to put two of these pieces of tulle on one side of the rose and then echo that on the opposite side of the rose so it's nice and balanced. Now I'm going to secure all the diapers together using a little bit of twine, and I want to make sure my twine wraps around the edge of the diapers and not around the edge of the pan. So I'm going to take this twine and wrap around the diapers twice, making sure I keep this snug as I go and it doesn't get caught on the edge of that pan, and then I'm going to cinch it up nice and tight. I want these to be really snug because otherwise our diapers could fall apart if we're not careful. So pull that string nice and taut and then tie a double knot, and then I'm just going to cut away any remaining string tails with a pair of scissors. At this point, we can finally remove our diapers from the pan, so I'm going to release that spring and pull the diapers straight up. And this is what the side and the bottom look like. You could always leave the rose just like this and put it on a table, but I want to add a few embellishing touches to the side of this to not only camouflage the side of the diapers, but also that string we used to hold all of them in place. So I'm using this 1.5 inch ribbon. I'm going to wrap it all the way around the edge, but I don't want a raw edge on this, so I'm going to fold over one end of my ribbon and just tack it down with a little bit of hot glue. Now, whenever you're doing any kind of diaper cake or decoration, you never want to glue or tape anything directly to the diapers so you don't ruin them. So in order to attach this ribbon to the diaper cake, I'm going to wrap it all the way around and pull it nice and snug. While I'm holding that ribbon tight against the side of the diapers, I'm going to put a little dot of hot glue where those two ribbons overlap near the edge. And you always want to make sure your ribbons are aligned and square because I'm not going to be putting a bow over the top of this, so whatever edge I have here will be the finished look. Once you've got the hot glue in place, hold it down for a few seconds until it dries, and then from there, it's just the tension around the diapers that will hold the ribbon in place. And now this beautiful rose is ready for a party. I hope you're inspired by today's project and give this one a try. I absolutely love when baby shower decorations can be reused as practical items for the mother-to-be. If you enjoyed this video, you can hit that like button, subscribe below, and don't forget to check out our Patreon group if you'd like to up your party planning game. Until the next time, you can check out some of my other videos over here. And remember, stay creative, everybody. Bye!